What's up? Welcome back. Haven't posted a video in quite some time, but we got some car parts today we're gonna put on. Had a little issue with my front right rotor. Heard it grinding metal on metal as I was driving. It's annoying, super embarrassing. So I'm like, okay, let me go see what this is. I was hoping it was just the brake pads, but no, it's not. Apparently the rotor's warped. So got on the old Google, found some new rotors and brake pads to put on, and that's what we're gonna try to do today. First off, me and Ahsoka are taking a little Home Depot run though, because we need some tools. So let's see if we can catch the noise while I'm driving so you can see what I'm talking about in case you're having the same issue. Not sure if you can hear this, but sorry to give you motion sickness there, but it's annoying, bro. It's a little embarrassing to be driving around like school and stuff. Nobody wants to hear that shit. So luckily I took it to Subaru, and stuff is way cheaper to just buy aftermarket parts than buying the OEM ones. So we got some slotted rotors today we're gonna put on, and some a little bit better brake pads. And we're gonna try to paint the calipers again. So let's head to Home Depot. All right, we got the car in the garage. We're gonna get it up on jacks. We're gonna get two birds stoned at once here and change the oil anyway while it's up.
Exactly. Get two birds stoned at once.
That's what the wheels look like. We got some Inovia Titans. I think they're 19 by 9.5. They fit pretty, I'm on stock suspension, so they fit pretty well. I did need to roll the fenders in the front. I rolled them in the back to match. That was a little out of my skill range, so I'll tag the shop if you're in the Tacoma area in the description where I got those rolled. But yeah, let's get this thing up on jacks. All right, so I'm here looking at the rotors, and this is the front driver's side. I'm not sure what a good one and a bad one looks like. So this is the one we had that had no complaints. I'm not getting any noise here. They said my brake pads are low. Yeah, so here's this one. I am wondering what this little divot thing is here, and if that's my fault, because this is actually on every one of my rotors and like whatever this part's called here. It's on every single one of them. So if you know what that is, yeah, leave a comment below so I can look up what I did wrong to make that happen to all four of these. Yeah, now let's go and see the other side. All right, this is not your rotor. This is called your axle nut, and this indent is normal.
What are you doing using your big school words? Just use normal people words and I'll understand what you're talking about.
Apparently it's so the thing doesn't fall off. Sometimes some cars use a thing called a cotter pin. Not fully familiar with that. But also always make sure the car is on jacks before you start drinking. I went to the Facebook group, asked that question, got roasted. So now I need a cold one, but car's on jacks, so we're good. All right. So I got the passenger side rotors and brakes off. Kind of tough, but now I can give you some good tips for when we start on the other side. But we should do what I should have started with, which is let's unbox the rotors and brake pads that I ordered. Make sure we have everything here. Since the car is on jacks, it's taken apart. Hopefully I have all the pieces I need here. So we're gonna just one take do a quick unboxing. I actually don't fully remember what I ordered. So I know I got, you know, brake pads and rotors, but I just forgot the brand. So let's see here. Okay, we got DBA disc brakes. These are from Australia. So we got just the street. We didn't get the sport, so we kept it kind of simple. Got the street pads. That's all for this box, I think, huh? Yeah, Merry Christmas. That's all we got here. So these are our front and back brakes. And here we got a heavy box. Probably some rotors, I'm assuming. Yeah, here we go. So we matched the pads with the rotors we picked. So we got just the DBA Street Series brake rotors. So these are just slotted, not drilled. I don't want to go drilled and slotted. It wasn't too much more expensive, to be honest. These are much cheaper than buying OEM parts. So I just felt drilled and slotted was gonna be doing too much because I don't plan on getting the car too fast. So just driving around town. Street seemed good enough for me. Total for all this, it was like $700, which compared to what the shop quoted me being $1,500, and I've already got the car jacked up, taking the rotors and brakes off one side. Definitely seems like it's worth a DIY instead of spending the extra $800, but I'll let you know if it works and everything's put together. I'm an amateur, this is my first time doing this, so if I can get it on here and it works, then you guys can too. So save you $800, let's find out. If you look, this is the one you just break loose right here, and then this is the one you loosen all the way. And then on the bottom, this is the one you break loose, and then this is the one you loosen all the way. On the front, it's a little bigger than on the back. I think this is a 14 and this is like a 17 up here, and they're both 14s on the back. But the one connected to this little like rib thing here is you're gonna break that loose, and then you're gonna undo it with your fingers once you take the caliper assembly off. I think that's the easier way to do it. And then you don't want to, when you're letting it hang, you don't want to pinch this cord or stretch it. So I'm gonna get a can of paint and I'll show you what I did on the other side. I just ended up setting it on something so it can just hang till I'm done without stretching the wire. Also, look, I'm stripping paint from my new wheels because it didn't turn out well, and I'm doing an oil change. So we're getting three birds stoned at once here.
Exactly. Get two birds stoned at once.
All right, so look in here. There's two on the outside of this piece right here. And looking at it, you can see these little ridges here. These are the small pieces on the inside. If you look, you can see where all four are. So you wanna just kind of break these ones loose when it's still on the rotor. I think is easier because then you can just untighten them with your fingers when you take the whole thing off. These ones on the outside are just a little bit bigger. They're both actually 14 millimeters. They're just a little longer. Undo those ones first, and when you do that, you're just going to need to pull the caliper, like the whole assembly, off the thing here. And it's kind of stuck on there for me, so it's kind of a pain, but I didn't have to use the hammer to get it off. This next part, however, this thing is on there. It came off by hand on the front, but on the other side, I had to hit this thing like 100 times with the rubber mallet. So make sure your e-brake's picked up. I'm on all four stands right now. So my e-brake is off, I'm not in gear, and I'm just gonna whack this thing until it comes flying off of here. So I'm gonna get down, lay on the ground, and just give it a couple whacks. So if you had a bad day, this is the best part. All right, remember, don't give up, bro. That shit did not look like it was moving, and then it just broke on one of them, so. All right, so I got the other three on. I ran into a couple complications, only on one side. This is the back passenger side. This just slid right on. It's on there pretty good now. The other side was kind of at like a slanted angle here. So what I ended up having to do was just hit in this back piece and the thing with the rubber mallet to get it on. But yeah, the other three just slid on perfect. So I'm hoping when you guys are getting to it, they just slide on perfect. So if you look, we're going off these outside pins, the one that's half screwed in down here and the one that's half screwed in up here. We put those ones in first and it should line up. This piece is gonna go right in between this little piece right here I'm touching and this thin metal piece. I don't know the names of them, but it's gonna slide right in between there, just the way you took it off, and you're gonna put in the big bolts that I was talking about earlier first. That's just gonna hold this thing in place and it's gonna make the rest of it a little easier. So, all right, so we got this part on with the two big bolts. The next thing we're gonna do is pull the piece we had hanging here earlier, and we're gonna decompress this little joint here. So the easy way to do this, well, it's hard to find a good place to set this thing while you're doing it. So I'm just gonna let it kind of balance on top of the rotor. And we're gonna take a C-clamp and one of the old brake pads. And basically, we're just gonna set this brake pad here and C-clamp this and tighten it all the way until you cannot tighten it anymore, where this piece is totally flat right here. Get a little closer and show you. This little knuckle piece is gonna be pushed all the way in, otherwise it's not gonna be able to fit back over the new brake pads. So we're gonna do that first, this knuckle piece right here. And I'll put it in a time lapse because it does take a minute to do. All right, I'm gonna show you again because this part I messed up on the other three. It took me a little bit to understand. You want this thing to be pushed in till you literally can't tighten it anymore. I've never used a C-clamp before, but I figured it out during this video. You want this to be all the way down here before you start twisting it. That way it can push and use the leverage as much. So this one is all the way compressed, and it's not gonna like explode or anything when we loosen it. It's just gonna pop back loose. And then we're gonna move to the next part. So need it to look like this. What we have left is we're going to be putting in the brake pads. And like I said earlier in the unboxing, I didn't really rip them out of there, but we have some DBA Street Performance brakes. They come with a little packet of lubricant that we're going to use only on the metal parts right here. So when you're looking at the front brakes, it actually came with new little metal pieces here, but we're gonna just put some of this stuff on here, and we're not gonna touch the rotor, but only these metal pieces on the outside. This is a lubricant, so the brakes get in there. I read the instructions and it said to do this. I didn't find it anywhere online that this was necessary, but you know, the people sell the product. I like to think they might have some clue what's going on with it. So I'm gonna trust them and put on just a little coat of this stuff, just in case. And once again, we're avoiding it from touching the rotor. Okay, after we got that on, this stuff is so sticky you would not believe that it's a lubricant. So I'm gonna wipe that off my fingers. And we're just gonna stick these brake pads in. And it looked way harder to me the first time I did it, but you really just line up the holes and you can just push it in the middle here. And it should pop right into place just like that. And that one doesn't feel like it's all the way in there, but it's not going any further. And the same thing on the back side. All right, time for the last part. So we got the brake pads pushed in here. They fit in actually really easy. So if you have a difficult time, you're probably doing it wrong. Just take it out, look, and it fits perfectly in these little clamps. So now that we have this decompressed, it should be able to fit perfectly over here. All we're gonna do is look out for these parts here. We're gonna align those over these things, and we're just gonna push them in with it a little bit. All right, and here we go, and everything is back on here. We got 1 bolt, 2 bolt, 3 bolt, and 4. It's all on there. You can see our fancy little new brake pads poking through. Nice slotted rotors. You're gonna make sure you can turn this with 2 hands to make sure it's not rubbing. I can turn it. A little hard to do with the camera, but it moves. There's the back. Let me go up to the front. Here's what we're looking at up here. Everything is on. I think I was able to do it, so we're gonna put the wheels back on. We're gonna lower it, and we're gonna see how it turned out. So, wish me luck. All right, so we're in the car, and we're driving. So it's been a couple days, and that must be good news because the car's running. I actually went out and did the test drive that night. They want you to brake in the pads, doing brakes from 30 miles an hour to 5 miles an hour. They want you to do 10 of them with, they said 30 seconds of rest in between, but just gave it a little bit, hit a couple brakes, sped up a little bit. Everything worked out just fine. I made 1 mistake during the install, and that was, or 2 actually, I made 2 mistakes, but luckily they weren't critical mistakes. I just had to put more of the lubricant on the back side of the brake pads, not just the metal contact points, but the back side of the pads itself. Should have done that. And then the little metal clips that stick out on the brake pads, I didn't know what those are for, but those are wear indicators. You want those basically, I had them on the outside, you want them on the inside and the bottom. What those do is, once your brake pads start getting low, that metal is gonna like hit something. It'll make an annoying noise, so you know you need to change your brake pads. But luckily I brought it to Subaru and got my work double checked. They were able to do that for like 50 bucks. So it was worth it. You know, I got it done. I don't have a lot of experience working on cars. You know, the biggest thing I've done before was my oil change. So, and I was able to get this done in probably like 6 hours. So I upgraded my parts. I didn't get OEM. I got better parts, saved $800, and I got some experience doing it myself. So overall, I'd call this a total win. With the money I saved, I actually bought myself another part that you can look forward to seeing in the next video coming up here probably this week. So thanks for watching. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below, and I hope to see you in the next video. Thanks.